barracks have been wiped out. The Zerans have gone. Ah!
Hello.
Crumbs.
Well, welcome back to the Shallow Proclamation. My name's Paul.
And I'm Thomas.
And we are about to watch the final episode of the Space Museum. We've enjoyed the first 3 episodes. Contrary to what I believe is general fan opinion is like, we've quite enjoyed it and found them to be quite intriguing. So we are interested to see where this one goes. As always, give us a like and a subscribe down below. That's great for us. Do comment and let us know what you think of this story. And if you've got, we're only kind of 2 stories away from the end of the series 2, and we'll do a little roundup again, probably a live session like we did before if we can. We'd love to have your questions in advance for that. So if you've got questions about the whole season, it could be particular, related to particular things in the season, particular stories, or it may be a bit more general. That's fine as well. It doesn't have to be too specific, but let us know in the comments as well. Make sure you make it obvious that it is for the review, and we'll hopefully use those and integrate that into what we're doing. Apart from that, we can crack on, I think, can't we, Thomas?
Awesome. Nice. Oh, wow.
See, that's clearly a reshoot because the final episode finished with Ian front on saying Doctor, whereas this was a side angle, so very different.
So this is the Doctor in the process of being preserved.
Yeah, do they say like an embalming for the cases?
Yeah. That's quite disturbing, isn't it? Sort of taxidermy. This is good acting from Hartnell, isn't it? I can believe that he's been partially frozen.
It wasn't much of a plan, was it, really? just run it in.
It's a pity, isn't it? It's a pity.
Has the Doctor lost his mind? He seems to be spouting complete nonsense.
I don't know. I thought that was quite good. He was kind of taunting them, wasn't he? Taunton, isn't that a place in England?
Yes.
Yeah. Whereabouts?
I think it's sort of southwest somewhere.
Right.
Might be wrong. Let us know in the comments. If you're watching from Taunton, big shout out. Taunton massive.
This episode is for the inhabitants of Taunton.
Now we return to another scene of Barbara in a smoky room.
Well, it would appear that this little diversion will soon be over, Commander.
You see, I really like the line fluffs. I know it feels a bit patronising to point them out, and people are like, "Oh, get over it." Yeah, it was harder in those days, but it's quite realistic, isn't it? In real life, people do fluff their lines.
Yeah, absolutely.
And stumble on words and stuff.
Wait, are you reading lines? Is there a script?
Got my auto cue over there. Is the future determined?
No, the barracks have been wiped out. The Zerans have gone. Ah!
Hello.
Crumbs.
Vicki!
Oh, marvellous. Oh, thank you.
There was something quite awkward about that shot. The camera was so close to them.
I guess it's one of those things you get one chance to get that shot right. And
oh, marvellous.
It's a little bit odd.
Like, and then it pans around and they're just standing there smiling.
Can't you use any of it?
Oh, we only want on Zeros what belongs to Zeros, Vicki. The rest will be broken up.
Render unto Zeros what is Zeros's.
Goodbye,
An
Vicki.
emotional
Goodbye,
farewell.
Slightly overlong wave there.
It's like Return of the King. Oh, yeah, boy.
Our greatest enemies have left the planet Zeros. They are once again in time and space. They cannot escape. Our time machine will soon follow them. They will be exterminated.
Oh. Yes. Oh, what an ending. Oh,
There you go.
did you know that was coming?
Yeah,
Did you
'cause
remember?
I know what the next story is. So.
Oh, yes. Flipping yes. That was a nice surprise because, I mean, obviously we saw a Dalek in the Space Museum. It was in the first episode. I thought that was just a little Easter egg. But we've already had a big Dalek story in series 2, so I wasn't expecting more from the Daleks. But yeah.
Well,
now
I
they've
guess
got time travel and you will be exterminated. Oh.
they knew how powerful and how popular the Daleks were. I guess amongst people, so they were keen to get them back, as much as they could. I think they're actually filming the film at this point as well, like in America. Well, not in America. I don't know where it was filmed actually, but it's not a BBC thing. The film, so but that was kind of going on at the same kind of time this was being produced. So yep, the Daleks are big money.
They knew they'd hit some gold dust, so it makes sense to capitalise on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even, a Christmas song was written about them at this sort of time.
Yeah. So what do we think of the end of that?
Yeah, I mean, it was an interesting sort of philosophical question, wasn't it? The vision of the future that they saw was that it seems that was a possible future, and they managed to avoid it by being rescued and the revolution and stuff. So I don't know what the take home of that is really. Does that future exist in a parallel universe, or was it something that they managed to avoid by being plucky and getting round it? But how did you find it?
Yeah, I think like you say, it poses lots of interesting questions. I think I think probably you could do more with it. You could have had a lot more discussion around, is it possible for them to change the future? Is what they're doing actually leading them into it? I mean, that gets referenced, but it's kind of tends to be like you just have the story's a lot more kind of about, you have the action or activities that they're doing, and then you get that little bit of discussion, very just a few lines here and there about whether they can avoid it and whether actually they've just been leading up to the point at the whole time. So I think there's a big idea in there that probably could have been explored a bit more than it was, but I think probably longer term, obviously the show further down the road does explore those things a bit more. We see it in things like Waters of Mars, don't we? That idea of if you've got time, things are set. Was it a fixed point? That's the thing in the modern series, isn't it? Fixed points in time. Can you fight them and can you avoid them? So yeah, there's lots of potential there. I mean, I don't think I'm going to ever look at the Space Museum and think, oh, this is an absolute belter from the classic era. I think there's some good ideas in there. I think it was fine. I mean, I wouldn't say it was as boring as perhaps it's got the reputation for.
Yeah, maybe the Doctor could have got out a blackboard in the TARDIS and start drawing diagrams and saying, "And never, never eat pears."
Time can be rewritten.
I mean, it's become a bit of a cliche in time travel films and TV shows where when it gets really complicated, they have to get out a blackboard and draw a diagram of the timeline and stuff. They do it in Back to the Future and stuff. But I kind of appreciate it. I think they could have got away with it in this episode because this was the most this story, because I think this was the most timey-wimey that the show has been so far in what we've seen of the classic era. So I would have actually quite enjoyed a moment with William Hartnell in front of a blackboard drawing out a diagram of what's happened. People might have found that a bit on the nose, but I would have liked that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it probably would have helped to
help us understand what the heck was going on.
No, but I mean, I don't know how many other shows, I don't know how many other kind of shows or films had played with that idea that much at this stage. The idea of time travel and kind of seeing your future and can you avoid it. I don't know if it was something that had been explored very much in other shows at this stage, so it might not be something. Whereas now, when we watch, well, maybe if you're a Doctor Who fan, you're kind of or anything that involves time travel, you're maybe familiar with these kind of ideas, so you're used to it. But maybe if you've not been exposed to it that much before, which certainly not been exposed to it in Doctor Who up until this point, really. Maybe just going into taking a bit more time to delve into that could have been something, but
that's a really good point. Yeah, I mean, I guess what time travel stories did you have before Doctor Who? You had H.G. Wells, The Time Machine. You had presumably a few movies, but I feel like a lot of sci-fi before Doctor Who was mainly space travel, not necessarily time travel. So Doctor Who was pretty cool in combining both.
Alien invasion. The chances of anything coming from Mars are 1,000,000 to 1. But still they come.
Exactly.
I don't know what year the original Star Trek series started. Because they may have done some stuff with time travel. But I don't know.
It was from 66 to 69, the original series.
Okay, so that wouldn't have been out at this stage either.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll be interested to press into that. How revolutionary was Doctor Who in being a time travel TV show? Was it the first time travelling TV show? Be interested if anyone knows that in the comments.
Yeah, maybe, someone can let us know in the comments, or whether there are other things that had already played with these ideas of, seeing your future and being able to avoid it. I suppose you could have had that in media that wasn't even about time travel. You could have someone having a premonition of something in the future.
That's true. Yeah,
it's not even sci-fi related. It might just be a bit more sort of supernatural-esque, so it might have come up in other things. I don't know. But someone will know. Surely, given the knowledgeable comments we get from people on the channel who seem to be in the know about these things, I'm sure someone will have some inkling of whether these things have been used before. So
that's good. Well, should we wrap that one up? Sorry,
that's a real life fluff right there.
Pure fluff. That could be a name for this channel, couldn't it?
Dear me. Right. Yeah, should we wrap it up then? Alright then. We're wrapping it up.
You're gonna do it?
That was the Space Museum, episode 4. Join us next time for episode 1 of The Chase. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Don't wanna hold